Good morning. Let me start by thanking very much the organizers, particularly the CII, for giving me this opportunity of sharing these few comments with you this morning. It is for me a big honor to be here with such an important audience and such an important dais today, and colleagues that have already taken the floor. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and I hope that I can share a few comments in the matter with you. I hope that then I'll be able to establish the link between an Argentinian ambassador being present here and the e-mobility. So that will be an important task of my presentation. Let me start by saying that as the electric vehicle market continues to grow, and as lithium-ion batteries continue to reign as the top batteries for electric vehicles, the biggest boost to demand comes from this region. In this regard, India and China concentrate the manufacture of 1 out of every 3 vehicles, and their vehicle fleet grows every year, and that singles out the importance of India in this regard. According to a recent study, and this has been said by the ones that preceded me in the use of the floor, India is home to 14 out of the 20 most polluted cities, as was said by the World Health Organization. And electric vehicles can improve that scenario by reducing local concentrations of pollutants in cities, and to achieve the cutting aims of the government of India by 2030 by an amount of 33 to 35%. The government of India proposes to add 175 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2020 and to achieve 40% of its electrical generation from non-fossil sources by the same year. India also has particularities in the field of mobility, has some particularities compared to other countries. For example, there is a significant domestic demand for smaller vehicles, and this was very well described yet with the 80% of 2 and 3-wheelers, and also economy 4-wheelers and small goods vehicles, and this is unique among other large countries. Beyond significant domestic demand for smaller vehicles, another aspect of the Indian mobility market is supportive of electrification. Its high level of sharing, and this is a particularity in mobility in India that is very important. Shared mobility has exploded, and it is changing the world to travel. India's target of 100% EV sales by 2030 is a game changer, and its achievement would drive down costs and build production scale faster than it was anticipated till now. Despite the relatively small share of global vehicle stock, EV sales are experiencing extraordinary growth. To achieve this target, India would need a policy to secure materials used in lithium-ion batteries, including particularly lithium. Therefore, India has to create, make, or incentivize strategic investments in international mines for these materials. Today, India imports all lithium cells and assembles these cells into battery packs. As India's battery manufacturing capabilities mature and supply chains are established, India will have the opportunity to produce both battery cells and packs while importing only the raw materials from mineral-rich regions. And here is exactly the connection I wanted to make between India and Argentina in the EV market. And here is, of course, where we can come as a key player in the sector. In this regard, let me tell you a little bit about the lithium market, which is the one I want to particularly refer today. In this regard, as you might see, coming there, as you might see, the production nowadays, this year is, this time is around 301 million tons of lithium carbonate. 40% come from salars and 60% from pegmatites. In this regard, and concerning the production in Argentina, we are producing around 38 million tons now, and our projection is to come to 290 million tons, 290,000 tons by 2023. In order to develop a competitive EV battery industry, India needs not only to acquire a substantial amount of lithium, but also needs to access to the best quality raw lithium, which you can find nowadays in our country. We are now ranked as the third of the 9 countries that produce lithium, and the first world exploration target in 2018. Additionally, during the last year, Argentina increased its output, and we're aiming to have these 290,000 tons by 2023. Mainly in Argentina, the production of lithium is concentrated in 3 countries in the northeast of the country, which is this region of Argentina, the northwest region, and it's particularly the provinces of Catamarca, Salta, and Jujuy, which has recognized now and certified reserve of 128 million tons of lithium carbonate, which is a vital component for the manufacturing of lithium batteries. And it's not only the quantity that you have to take into account, but it's also the quality of the resource that we have in this part. This means that nowadays Argentina has the 3rd largest lithium reserve in the world. In this context, in this context, it's important to look at what nowadays the lithium market looks like in Argentina. Here you can see the countries that are already having some exploration and exportations in Argentina, and the sectors to which the lithium is mainly going. Several countries like firms from China, Japan, US, France, Canada, Australia, and South Korea have been benefiting of permits in around 15 lithium reserves in these provinces in the northwest of the country. They have intensified their activities in recent years, which have led to an increase in Argentinian lithium reserves, as I have already pointed out. This certainly reinforces expectations about the country's potential. Nowadays, 2 main companies are operating in Argentina. One is Minera del Altiplano, which is exploding one salar called the Salar del Hombre Muerto in Catamarca. And this is mainly a subsidiary of FMC Lithium Corporation. The second one is Sales de Jujuy, which is operating in Salar de Olaroz, and there you have an Australian company called Orocobre, which is working with Toyota and a national provincial firm of the province of Jujuy. In this regard, it's important to mention these are the two main lithium mines that are in operation, Phoenix and Olaroz. As you may see, they are not only the two main producers now with 30,000 tons a year between both of them, out of the 38 that we are producing in the country, but also the expansion that it's foreseen in these two mines by the year 2023. Argentina is part of what is called the lithium triangle with Bolivia and Chile. So this is the northwest of Argentina, it's the south of Bolivia and the north of Chile. We share the same salars and the same capability of producing lithium. And this is a region which lithium brine deposits with concentration levels that make its exploration extremely profitable in relation to other deposits in the world. According to 2018 data from the US Geological Survey, about 67% of proven lithium reserves and about half of the global offer is concentrated now in this region. But not only natural conditions seems to benefit Argentina, but the regulatory framework is particularly favorable for the arrival of investments oriented to the exploitation of the lithium brine deposits. As a consequence, Argentina has the potential to become the largest leading lithium carbonate producer. In this regard, there are a lot of benefits of investing in the mining industry in Argentina. Particularly, there are 4 areas that have to be particular key elements to facilitate these investments. The economic attractiveness of how Argentina is doing now, infrastructure and energy, legal processes and compliance, and the environmental regulations in the country. This sets the environment for these investments, and it's particularly important for me to stress here the benefits that the government have established in the mining investment law that grants a tax stability scheme that applies for 30 years at all taxes, national and provincial taxes, applicable on the date of filing the feasibility study with the federal government. Second, zero tax on imports of capital goods, equipment and spare parts, and raw material imports for mining purposes. Third, an exploration promotion policy that includes extra income tax deduction of exploration expenditures and VAT reimbursements within 6 months. 4, 3 years accelerated depreciation schemes. 5, an upper bound of 3% of provincial royalties. 6, a regulatory simplification to allow easier and a simplified paperwork from anywhere and improve access and transparency. And finally, an ambitious infrastructure plan to reduce logistic costs and speed up the transportation of the goods. So this is a little bit the link that I wanted to establish between the boom that EV is going to be having the next year in India, and how can we as Argentina can play in this process. We are very keen to work within with the Indian industry in the provision of lithium for the development of batteries. And I think that this is the right time to do it because the technologies will be evolving. Sometime we will find that we can replace the technologies that nowadays we have for the lithium or batteries, but for the time being, we have the feeling that this is the available technology, this is the right chemical proportion that you need, and in this regard, we are very much willing to be the providers of an industry that has a lot of future for India. And I would like to stress what Mr. Kohli just said, and this is the importance of having a smooth transition and how all of us can participate in that smooth transition that will benefit at the very end the people of India. Thank you so much.